Now, seniors, as you prepare for your senior prom, you're probably going to want to give into a lot of urges. But before you give into said urges, you're going to want to be protected. Because remember, teen pregnancy is not a joke unless it happens to someone funny. Prom Dates is a Hulu original directed by Kim Non-wen and was written and produced by DJ Mausner. That sounds like the name of a territorial wrestler in the 70s and 80s, or maybe even on the Northeast independent scene in the 1990s. From Philadelphia, DJ Mausner. So anyway, yes, Prom Dates. It focuses on Hannah, played by Julia Kester, and Jess, played by Antonio Gentry, who was recently in Netflix's Time Cut. This actually came out months before that, but I just got around to it now. What do you want from me? I have a lot of movies that I'm watching. I can't get to everything right on its release date, or its prom release date, as it were. Okay, I'll stop with the stupid jokes, except I won't. They are two friends who made a prom pact. And we see that hilariously play out in the very beginning. They made it when they were 13, and now they want to take their dates to the prom. But then a certain wrinkle gets thrown in because for a couple reasons, they end up with no dates. And now they must try to find a date for each of them the night before their senior prom. Or otherwise, senior prom will suck. So, yeah, it's not the most wholly original concept, nor are some of the particular, scenarios that play out exactly original. But what I will say that I like about this movie, and yes, I actually did shockingly like this movie, despite the fact that it seemed more like the pilot episode, or maybe even two pilot episodes, Human Centipede together, of like a Netflix, Hulu, or HBO Max, teen comedy drama series. It actually has charm to it, some decent characters, and actually some funny jokes. I was having fun watching this. It is, again, by no means original, and there's stuff like Bottoms is way, 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 way better than this, but Prom Dates does have an endearing quality about it, and also a whimsical nature about it, and it doesn't take itself way too seriously while also dealing with some serious matters, such as being true to yourself, because it does have a heavy LGBTQ theme that gets woven in, and is actually pretty damn obvious from the beginning, if we're being honest. But that is something that might turn some people off, and whatever, you can just go over there and be your bigoted selves. You can actually appreciate people for who they are if you actually have a spine and an attached brainstem. Me off my soapbox. So yes, Jess and Hannah, this is mainly focused around them and the respective people to interact with them. I will say that there are a couple scenes that kind of bothered me. And the character Greg, Kenny Redmond, who actually isn't bad. He's not bad, but, I mean, the character's supposed to be super annoying. But there are a couple times where I'm like, okay, now we're just being ridiculous here. But it is pretty obvious where the thing's going from the beginning. But it does have some funny moments. It does have some nice moments, treating like, how people have an awakening, so to speak. Realizing maybe they've been living a lie, all that kind of stuff. And realizing maybe they've been with the wrong person this whole time. I did go to my senior prom. I went alone. I went with a couple couples. One that ended up basically almost getting in a fight in the car. That was fun. That was real fun. I did get to dance with a few people. That was kind of nice. One that was a 6-foot Swedish exchange girl, student exchange, that is. She, her name's Ellen. Really nice. Really nice. And she actually, I'll just say this much because I'm pretty damn certain nobody from the prom is watching this. But the guy that took her was a creep and probably ended up with a lot more issues with women because he didn't respect women and stuff like that. I mean, it was pretty obvious, everybody knew, but hey, gotta dance with her, and hopefully she's having a great life because she actually was pretty goddamn nice. That being said, prom can trigger some things for people, especially those of us that are way, 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 way past our high school days. But you know what? It had a sweet nature about it, and it was fine. It was fine for what it was. Actually, it was pretty good. It, again, nothing that is going to register by the end of the year, even though this is November and this thing came out in the beginning of May. But it has a fun nature about it and is well worth your time. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's like 80 goddamn minutes. So it solves its, stuff. It gives some ideas about maybe this could turn into a goddamn series or could possibly have a sequel. I mean, I don't know why they would make a sequel to this. What are you going to do? Their college days where they do more weird shit? But it's fun, and there's good chemistry between Julia and Antonia, and the other characters work out pretty goddamn well. So I'm going to get into spoilers on Hulu if you want to check it out. So nevertheless, yeah, there we go. Fun for what it was. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, you do have John Michael Higgins, who's in this. You have Chelsea Handler, who teaches her dog to play with some buttons. It's like a game of Simon, or like a xylophone for stupid people. And you do also have Crystal Lake Evans that's in this. She was recently in Don't Turn Out the Lights. She's better in this. Let me just say that much right now. So I actually kind of wish I would have seen this before I saw Don't Turn Out the Lights. Now I'll give Crystal Lake Evans a chance because, man, nobody could save that goddamn movie. If you have not seen Don't Turn Out the Lights, make sure you catch it on a streaming service where you don't have to pay for it. Because that way, you don't have to feel like you dropped your own money there after they dropped barely anything into it. Off my soapbox about that. I did like the blood, the blood bond, blood oath, but Hannah freaked out, and her and 13-year-old Jess were under the table doing this. She freaked out and rubs her blood in someone's dress. That was funny. Jess's boyfriend Luca, played by Jordan Mahat, he plays his dickish role pretty well. That could have really turned dirty if I had tried, but it's obvious that that's not going to end up working out. And Hannah is obviously gay, obviously fucking gay. The character, I don't know. Maybe Julia actually is. I mean, I don't care. I'm not judging. I mean, just she played it well, if so. But that being said, she is dating some guy named Greg that's very, very overbearing and almost is trying way, 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 way too hard. But it's obvious that Hannah's gay. She likes this girl named Angie, played by Terry Hugh, who actually I think plays the punk rock, coming out character pretty well. The one you come out to, the one that's like, holy shit. If that's how you feel, then that's somebody you'd probably be like, man, they are just so wow. And that's the thing. A lot of people have an awakening with that kind of stuff when you realize who you are and realize who you like. So, yeah, from there we get her and Greg. Greg does perform a Hannah Banana thing, like a prom proposal, because he does everything big. It turns out that Jess actually hooked up with Jacob, who is Hannah's brother. And Luca was cheating, duh, because when you act like this kind of jock character and rich boy, you're going to cheat. You shouldn't, but you're probably gonna. And yeah, Hannah's gay. Everybody knew. They just weren't going to tell her, or they just weren't going to say it unless she was ready to come out, which is nice. You shouldn't really come out for anybody until they're ready. So they then decide after their respective breakups, mainly because Hannah ran out of Greg's house because she's like, what the fuck? The dog does run out, by the way, because that's Chelsea Handler's dog. I personally want to get away from Chelsea Handler also because she's not a very good handler of animals. I'm ashamed. They go to a college party to get dates. I don't know why. Hannah gets high. They have a side thing where Jacob is kind of, stuck with Greg because Greg's all upset. Jess finds a guy that also turns out to be a cannibal. Well, a cannibal, or he just wants to sacrifice people. I'm not actually totally sure because he's a foreign exchange student just speaking stuff. And then Hannah basically, gets high with some girl and says, how will I know who's gay? It's a college party. Everyone's gay. I don't think that's how that works, but, whatever. Hannah hooks up with a girl, but then it turns out that's actually her second cousin. What are the odds? Whatever, it's funny. I mean, they escape the cops. They trampoline their way into another frat party where there's a guy, Reggie, that is pretty stupid. I mean, he means well, but he suffered so many concussions from doing sports that he actually asked Jess, could you help me write an email because it's hard for me to look at bright lights for too goddamn long. How is he able to function? I've had trauma, but come on, really? So Hannah is getting texts from Greg, and all this stuff's going on. There's a stripper named Lexi. The character, got to write the girl's name down. She she did well in her brief role. They're doing a bit of the, the dream sequence thing, holy shit, she realizes that she really is, I mean, not that she didn't realize before, but this is more of an awakening here. But then she ends up throwing up, and we get blood, and we get from the cocaine that she did, and all this stuff. So then, unfortunately, Jess basically keeps wanting to go back to Luca because she wants to be prom queen, and that's the only way to do it. You couldn't find anybody else, I guess. But her and Anna kind of become an impasse, or kind of go to an impasse. And then Angie ends up hooking up with, or Hannah hooks up with Angie, while Greg and Jacob and everybody are at this other dance, or this music gig party. It's brief. That doesn't end up working out, though, because, Greg kind of bursts in, and it, is obvious that Hannah's been living a lie. Look, to be fair, you shouldn't hide who you truly are. You also probably shouldn't string somebody along like that, and that is something that Hannah admits to later. So Jess ends up basically getting with Jacob after stealing Luca's car, but when she realizes basically that he's not a good guy. And it's time for prom, and Hannah admits on the house mic, the DJ mic, that she's gay. Luca is kind of a full-on dick, so Jess punches him. And then we get a dance between two friends. They apologize to each other. Angie doesn't want to be her girlfriend, but is willing to be her friend because feels that Hannah has some stuff to work out, which she does, to be quite honest. And she even, before that, Hannah even does something for Greg, like a Sinatra thing, I did it my way. And, hey, I hope we were friends, because just a little bit earlier before that, backtracking just a little bit, because there are some scenes that just, blend together, Greg wasn't upset because she's gay. It doesn't have anything to do with her. Or it doesn't have anything to do with why he's upset. He was upset because he kind of felt lied to, which, to be honest, is a valid reason. But no, I didn't tell anybody you were gay, didn't tell the mother, none of that, because again, you don't tell people before they're, you don't tell anybody about anybody unless they're ready to come out. And even then, let them tell that person. So then this girl, Grace, that basically is just as creepy as Greg, gets with him, and yeah, they hook up, and it is what it is. So yeah, look, okay, prom dates is by no means anything great, but it's, for entertainment purposes, I'm giving it a B+, because it's fun, it's whimsical, it has its moments. I had fun watching this. Yes, I can have fun watching things. So yeah, B+ for the entertainment. I gave Your Monster a B+, and that had its issues, so why not go with that? Is it something I'm going to remember in a couple months? Probably not. I might forget it by the end of the week. But it's fun for now. So agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.